Hello, everyone. Sergio Prieto here from Queens Capital Mortgage. You guys have seen that I've been doing some videos here and there, and this is my first time leading a podcast. Very grateful for the opportunity. Shout out to Uriah for the help. Queens Capital Mortgage, we're always looking to give back to the community. We always try to do that. I think that our videos and our sponsorships throughout the year, you guys have seen that. And it's something that we don't take lightly. We appreciate it. We appreciate the opportunity to sponsor people. We appreciate that we have the ability to do so. I have a couple guests with me today from the Our Family Our Brotherhood nonprofit organization. I have Gerardo Contreras and Brandon Matlock. We'll go with JR and Matlock. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. So just wanted to, I'm glad that we have obviously done some things in the past, right? We have sponsored a couple things. We've been to a couple events together. I'm very grateful for that opportunity to be with you guys and obviously, helping you guys with your mission and what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So I do want to go, just give you guys an opportunity each to, talk about who you are. So we'll start with JR. JR, just tell everybody, where you're from, how you, where your life took you and how you got started with Our Family, Our Brotherhood.
So originally from San Antonio, Texas, joined the military at the age of 18. Did 24 years. After my mission, 24 years, I retired from the military, got out, started my federal career. That federal career has brought me to where I am now for housing and urban development. Throughout the years, played a lot of softball, got to meet a lot of people. But when I got out, I had a mentor that helped me to write a resume, to know what to look for, what are my benefits I have, um, and as I seen new soldiers, my soldiers get out the military, as I see some of my peers get out the military and not having any guidance, it really brought me to it really brought my attention to why are these guys not have those opportunities, right? Um, so me took it upon myself. Being in the military, you get to meet a lot of people from a lot of places. So um, I just told myself, let me help the way somebody helped me, right? As far as our family, our brotherhood, um, I was deployed in Afghanistan uh, one year, and I remember one of my soldiers said, "Sergeant, the only thing we have right now is our family, our brotherhood." And that's what really got us through a lot of a lot of wartime eras. Um, so I stuck that in the back of my head. But then in the softball community, um, again, because it was made up of a lot of service members, um, I just took it upon and said, "Hey, I'm gonna name this our family, our brotherhood."
Amazing.
Yep.
So that person that gave you that soldier,
Mhm.
is he part of Our Family, Our Brotherhood? Have you stayed in contact with that person?
Um, no, he passed away.
I'm sorry to hear
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's a great way to honor him,
Mhm.
obviously, and that's an amazing story.
Mhm.
Appreciate you for sharing that.
Yep.
Now we also have Brandon Matlock. Brandon, let everybody know about yourself as well.
Well, I was born and raised in Iowa. A little small town is where I grew up, Donaldson, Iowa. I joined the military in 2006 and I was medically retired in 2020. And at that point, we had moved back to the state of Colorado to call that home. During my time in the military, I'd been all over the country and met a bunch of service members and ended up, my career ended as a drill instructor. And during that time, I had a lot of one-on-ones with a bunch of civilians getting turned into soldiers and got to see that transition. And it really kind of resonated with my soul of, wanting to help those soldiers as they got out, because as JR alluded to is, we're all here for each other. We're all a big family. The military is very close and tight knit. And once we get out, a lot of times, a lot of individuals who transition, their transition doesn't go that well. So they kind of feel on their own and they kind of feel left out. And knowing JR since 2012, 2013 for quite a while now, we'd played softball together for quite a while and shared our ideas and where our hearts were at when he had brought the idea of the OFOB starting here in Colorado. I love that idea, and I felt that was something that we could transition into this nonprofit to not only deal with adult recreational sports, but expand upon that to help transitioning soldiers with, as he had said, resume building and jobs outside.
Amazing. Okay, so you guys served together, I guess?
We served at the same time, but we never actually served in the same
So
unit.
you met in 2012.
Yes.
Uh,
Here
how-
in Fort Carson.
yeah, it's like just you were in just different units and just met at the PX. What?
We met in the
playing
softball field.
softball.
We met in the
Okay.
softball field. Yes.
Got you. So playing against each other, I assume.
With each other.
Oh,
With
okay.
each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Who's the better player?
I'm going to go ahead and tell him it's him. It's him. I mean, I'm just in it for like the fun and the joy of the
I
sport.
got
I
you.
get competitive like the rest of us, but I know where I stand.
Amazing. Cool. So awesome. So you're from Iowa. You're from San Antonio, Texas. You said Donaldson.
Donaldson.
Iowa. You're from San Antonio, Texas. What made you join the military?
So I came from a very, very low income family. Very gangs. I tell everybody the story. I lived 2 blocks from county jail. I've taken my kids back to my old neighborhood, and they were like, "Oh yes, Dad, I can't believe you lived there." Right. Um, so want to be the first one in my family to serve. Was the first one in my family to go to college, to earn a bachelor's and a master's degree. So that's what made me really, really join the military. I just wanted something different.
Absolutely. And
Where I grew up, it's a bunch of farmlands and truck drivers, manufactured buildings, stuff like that. It's a place I'll always call home, but at the same time, growing up, I was just kind of like that adrenaline junkie. Like I was going a million miles a second, and I was causing a bunch of problems. Just that young boy trying to find himself as a man. And one time during high school, the recruiter came in and he was doing his spiel and talked about opportunity and what it presented itself. And I guess, inside, I felt like that might be my chance to get away from where I grew up, to go see the world and, go actually learn about more than just my hometown. And it's provided me a beautiful opportunity, beautiful family, and just the brotherhood that we have. And I'm really thankful for it.
Gotcha. And you guys each have done combat tours?
Yes.
Yep. Multiple.
Yes.
Yep. So, yeah. You guys, we all were in that middle of a lot of deployments. From 2001 to what 2018, 2020 ish, right? So if you were in the military during that time, you went multiple times. Same. Cool. Your military background, your military experience. So your MOS was
I started as a 95 Bravo, or back in the day it was 95 Bravo. I think it's 31 Bravo now. Military police officer.
okay.
Got hurt in combat and then went the HR realm. So did the HR, did the recruiting, the drill, the EOA. So
Yeah. So
I guess-
when so going HR, I mean, I know you had an incident
Mhm.
overseas, but going HR, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, led you to where you are now.
Correct. Once again, you get those mentors in the military, and ask you what your goal is after the military, right? At that point, I really wasn't in it for college. It was more just I had a paycheck. I have doing something different.
Yeah.
I had to sit down with one of my first horns, and he's like, "You need to go to college. You need to go do this. You need to go do that." First horn Douglas, just saying.
Shout out.
Shout out. But they got me to start my associates, and then as he mentioned, adrenaline junkie, right? As soon as you start something, like what's next?
Mhm.
So I got my associates. Then let me look at a bachelor's program. So you can do a bachelor's with a minor. So the bachelor's with a minor. Finished that. I thought that was the best day of my life. And then masters. You can do a double masters program. So just went and went and went. But the most satisfaction I got from all that was the day I gave my dad the my double master's program certificate diploma, because on the backside I had dropped out of high school and got my GED.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very, very proud moment for me and for my father. So that was probably best of the best satisfaction I got of going to school. Yeah.
Awesome. Matlock, yourself, your MOS?
So when I first joined, the MOS was 21 Bravo because they were crucially needed during the route clearance times during the height of Iraq, Afghanistan, and they eventually transitioned back to 12 Bravos. And throughout my time, you know, I've attended Sapper School, Sapper Leader Course, Air Assault, multiple tours overseas, and had the opportunity to meet individuals worldwide. And as I said earlier, I was a drill instructor down at Fort Benning, and that was really, I think, the biggest enlightening moment for me in my career. Is just it's an amazing experience to see when you take civilians in and then let them and watch them walk across the field on their graduation and know that you had a direct cause into their transition to becoming a soldier. So that really resonated well with me. And then unfortunately, my body just couldn't quite take up with the high paced environment that I had put myself through in the years that I did. And in 2020, I was kind of retired from that point. But like I said before, even during the introductions, it's never really left me. And the only downfall of my retirement was during the COVID time period. And when I was retired, like all of the programs in place had kind of shut down because of the situation the country was in. And I kind of got left on my own. And the only thing that I had was my wife and my two kids and the animals we had at the time. And I had to figure things out. It was basically push you out the door and say, good luck with you on your way out. With that said, we moved back here, as I had said before, and I've had my ups and downs, and luckily JR's been with me through all of that, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and he's helped me come out of some very dark tunnels. And with that said, I've been able to complete a double major in business and work my way up into my current occupation with the Office of Personnel Management as a management analyst. And the way I kind of see it moving forward is I just want to do that same thing with the individuals that come into our organization, which is why we call it our Family Our Brotherhood, because I don't want to see them fall on their face. We have too many veterans, 22 a day, that end up taking their lives or feeling like they're left alone. And that's kind of where my heart and passion leads with this.
Absolutely. So it's funny, right? We all have, we grow up and, we have our father figures, our fathers that lead us, right? And us three, we're kind of in the same boat. Like a lot of the things that you're saying is very similar to like, I'm hearing my story a little bit, where I had no real direction. I could have stayed in Queens, New York if I wanted to, but I just didn't have direction at the time. And looking up to my dad and how much of a hard worker he was, um, it kind of just led into, or it was a happenstance for me joining the military. I was doing college and work at the same time. And at that moment in time, as an 18-year-old, I was doing it full time. I was not prepared for all of that at that time. And working with my dad, because I was working with him at the time, I'm working with my dad and his at JFK Airport. And there at the airport, I ran into someone whose relative was an Army recruiter. And it was just a conversation. It was like, hey man, just 'cause I would say like, man, I'm just tired, man. I'm working 5 days a week. I'm going to school like 4 days a week. And I mean, my schedule was like 0 0 6. I'm up. I'm at work at 8. Get off at 4. In class at 5:30. Out at 10:30. And I had a serious girlfriend at the time. Ended up being my wife. So like, I time was rough. Like I mean, it was not enough time to sleep and stuff like that, right? So after a while, I felt like I was burning myself out too, and I just met a buddy at work. It was like, hey, my brother's a army recruiter, and it was a simple. I had to be his easiest recruit. I had to be, because it was not much conversations. It was like, hey, this is what they'll offer you. This is what we can do. Whatever, take the ASVAB, see how you do. Did well. These are the options that you have. Things like that. And I was literally within 30 days, I was already ready to go. And I think a couple weeks after that, so about 45 days, I was gone. And it was just quick like that. So like it was a quick thing for my family too at the time. One day I just came home. Hey, I'm joining the military. I'm leaving in like 2 weeks. And that was a shock to everybody, right? So we have that person that we look up to. Then we join the military as a young adult, and you start looking up to those guys, the drill sergeant at first, the first squad leader that you get, the first sergeant, those leaders that put their arm around you as a young soldier, and then we turn into that person. We turn into the person that brings the young people up. So that's that metamorphosis of from where you start to where you end in the military is something that you don't really see in other professions, right? Not like this, where the brotherhood is so tight, right? The things that we go through, especially the time that we were in. I mean, when I joined in '99. There wasn't really too much going on. You know, about year 3 for me, that's when everything started going crazy, right? So I think about that metamorphosis of how when I joined, you know, the leader that the army made out of me, I believe it was instilled from when my dad, looking up to my dad first. It starts there. So when people hear me talk, this is my father, pretty much. This is what I heard from my dad. This type of conversation, this type of guidance, this type of leadership. A lot of it was it started there with my dad. The military just enhanced it, right? Made me a little smarter. Obviously, in the military world, smarter, right? So, that story that you guys have tells me that for mine, which is, you joined, the upbringing was, whatever it was, right? And finding that guy, having that guidance at home, and then I mean, I'm sure I can speak for both of you guys. I was terrified when I left.
Yes.
I was like,
Very.
I don't know how this is gonna go. This might not work out.
I joined in '94, and I was very attached to my mother, and I called her. That first call, I called her crying and say, "I want to go back home."
Oh no, you were that guy.
And my dad said, "Nope, stay
Yeah,
here."
yeah. No, I get it, man. I mean, I'm sure you saw it too. Like I saw it in basic, guys, really, really having a rough time at
Yep.
first. You get through it. Everybody got, at least the people that I was around, they got through it. Although there were rough times,
Yep.
missing home, wanting to go back. It wasn't the easiest thing to do, especially, basic then in the '90s is a little different than these days.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I see that. So yeah, that's amazing story. And you see, like, another thing is like how we know each other, but even if you run into a veteran that you've never known, you click immediately, right? There's an automatic connection, brotherhood.
It's like almost instinct.
It's immediate. It's you don't even have to say too much. Oh, you were stationed here. Oh, that's great, man. How long did you serve? This long. Oh, great. Same thing. That was another thing that brought me kind of to your organization. All right, as a veteran myself, I like to be connected to veteran organizations. I mean, at least know about them. If there's a way I can help, if I'm able to, I'm happy to do that. If the vision is right, and shout out Gian Santos and Santos Barber Factory. He was the one that made the connection for us, right? He gave me a quick little spill about you guys, and I was like, I definitely want to see what this is about. And then that's how this relationship kind of started. I don't know what, almost a year ago, maybe springtime.
Springtime.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's great. Now let's talk about our family, our brotherhood. All right, we talked about the name. Tell me what's the vision of the organization.
Okay, I can speak on that.
All right.
So, as we said before, this is JR alluded to how it came about. And then when him and I had a talk, I want to say about 2022, 2023, I'd kind of let him know about my vision of how I had explained to you. I wanted to be able to help the veteran community and stuff like that. And we kind of pieced it together saying, like, why not combine both forces? So after a good long talk, we came up with the idea that our family, our brotherhood would be there to support veterans, both active duty, retired, and disabled veterans, first responders, and their families. Through adult recreational sports or just recreational sports, depending on, children and their family going through what they do, which we've already sponsored. Part of our sponsorship has helped T-ball, minor ball, everything like that. So we utilize adult recreational sports as an outlet for PTSD, depression, anxiety, and as it's like I said again, as a transition to anybody that may need that. And it's not only just about adult recreational sports, it's also about mental health, it's also about financial literacy, it's also about employment readiness, and anything that we can do. And eventually our goal is to help maybe project small scholarships or small things to further assist young adults or young children into schools, colleges. We have this big picture, but it all starts with, collaboration and communication and getting our name out there with the community.
Absolutely. When did it start?
Officially, about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Officially, like
The- when
we said, our family, our brotherhood. My vision was back in 2016 for me.
Okay.
at that time, we had lost one of our brothers in softball. We have lost him, um, and we honor him every week, every year. We honor him at a tournament because that was his last tournament he played with us. Um, but at that time, we were under another name because that's the team we used to play for before with him. But as we came up, that whole our family, our brotherhood, that whole vision. I started. If I'm gonna push forward, I have to have something that's gonna attract, not just uh, a beer team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Drinking team or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Um, so the name started, but as the name got bigger, as a team started, our name started getting bigger. We started getting noticing. You were firsthand there at the Band-Aid tournament, the biggest military
Yes.
tournament. We took second, but you saw how everybody came from everywhere
Yes.
and to play in that tournament, and we grew to two teams, right?
Yes.
And at that time, you saw the camaraderie. You saw that, hey, we are here to support each other, whether we were playing on this team or not playing on that team. That dugout was full all the time.
Yes.
Um, and that's where I want to get people, veterans, players, to get into that comfortability to be able to like, okay, now we can talk about other than softball. Now
Right.
you're comfortable with us. Like let's talk about what are you doing now in the outside the military. Well, what's your plans? You know, we got a lot of active guys, and I always every tournament we go to, every gathering we have, hey, what are you doing? Have you gone to college? Have you done this? Have you done that? Having that mentorship for them, right? Um, as we continue to move forward, that's what we want to keep pushing. Um, Again, there's so many, even now, so many of our peers that are just, man, I got my VA check. I'm good. I'm good with that. So, are you really?
Yeah.
So,
So it's funny you mentioned. I do this a lot too. What you just said, where you're talking to an active duty person, and what's your plan? As a mortgage guy, we deal with a lot of active duty, retired veterans, a lot of active duty as well, and that's usually. I got to be honest. I talk to them kind of like an NCO sometimes, not like the knife hand NCO, but like somebody applies for a mortgage loan and they're an E5 sergeant, all good. I'm immediate like, okay, what's up with E6? Like, what's going on with that? Are you good? Did you just make E5? You ready for the next step? I'm automatically doing that, and that's not something that I'm not trying to get into business. It's like instilled in my brain from all the years that I was already doing that.
yep.
And same thing, what is your plan? And this doing the mortgages is like it made me feel like I was still counseling soldiers, right? Like I'm still like, you know, giving them some guidance. I still felt there was a purpose there. Leaving the military for me, that purpose was gone.
Oh,
That it wasn't there at first, right? As soon as I left, I was like, I'm not gonna have any more soldiers anymore, and that was something that I loved to do. I loved being around soldiers. I had a couple opportunities, like a couple of buddies of mine were like, hey, you should go warrant or go officer, and not that there's nothing wrong with that. At the moment in time when I was asked those questions, I was like, man, I kind of like being around the soldiers, the way I am. Like that first line, I liked that at that time. Later in my career, I was like, damn, I should have went officer. I should have went warrant at least, right? But at that moment in time, I remember those conversations, and I was just like, man, I kind of like where I'm at. I like the impact, however small it is. I like it. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy doing something else at that moment in time. But later in my career, I was like, I probably should have did that. But it's all good because as you get higher in rank and enlisted, you're kind of doing that you're kind of doing officer stuff. You're doing warrant stuff. So
and just to add on to that purpose thing, we had a guy that got out of the military, Santos' brother, Luis.
yes,
We talked about him.
yes,
So he got out of the military. Amazing ball player. I like how he plays ball, but he hadn't played ball in a while.
yeah,
We invited him to come out um, to the tournament last month in New Mexico. He came out and he goes, "I would love to be part of this organization. It gives me a purpose to play softball again."
Oh, I
when
love it.
when he told me that, I was just like, man, we're doing things the right
That's
way,
there
right?
it is. That's the what's the word? I mean, like that's the reward for you,
Yep.
right? That right there, and it's not even that. Like it's, I don't think it's like humongous, right? It's not
No.
that big. It's just the simple words that he just told you,
Yeah.
right?
To me, it's one little act.
Yes.
One little act can help change somebody's life, and they may not even know. You may not even know it, but you see it when it happens. And down the road, maybe they'll see it too. But that's the whole purpose behind this. Is, if we can stop one veteran from taking his life, we can stop another veteran from going down, a rabbit hole, because we know how addiction works in the veteran community. If we one that we're already winning with one, so why not try for two? Why not try for three, and then keep on going from there?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Luis.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out Luis. Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
I was stationed with him here at Carson at 10 Special Forces Group. He was like a young soldier in another, like, I was in the support battalion. He was in another support. Trying to remember, he was in another battalion that the support battalion supported.
Okay.
That's how it went. But awesome guy. I've stayed in touch with him.
Yep.
I've talked to him about. He bought a house in Florida. I guided him through that. I didn't do the mortgage, but I did guide him through it because he was working with someone else, and there were some questions, and I don't have no problem answering questions.
That NCO in you.
Yeah, exactly. He called me. He was like, "Hey man, I got some questions about this," and I was like, "Absolutely, man. I'll whatever. I'm always there to help. Business or not. If I'm getting the business or not, I'm always looking to help somebody, especially somebody that I serve with. Absolutely. I mean, because there's that brotherhood there. He's our brother, right? So absolutely. So shout out to him. Now for our family, our brotherhood. You mentioned New Mexico.
Yep.
You guys do play across like different states in the country.
Yes.
All right.
We go anywhere from Florida all the way to Arizona.
Okay.
So-
Now, how can you talk about briefly about what does it take to establish that, be able to get to those tournaments? I'm sure there's some either licensing or registration stuff that you guys need to do for either each tournament or each league, or how does that work?
So it depends. If you're traveling, there's depending on what association you're playing with, USSSA, WSL, One Nation, all these require a registration fee. They require, the team fee to play in the tournament, lodging, of course, getting there. How it starts with us is we'll find a calendar of the tournaments.
Yeah.
And to make it fair to everybody to travel at least once. You got guys in Florida that come to New Mexico, they come to Colorado. We try to find something in the East Coast, like Georgia. We just came back from Georgia last week for Military Worlds. So we try to find tournaments where the interest is there,
Yeah.
right? If Band-Aid and New Mexico, Las Cruces is always a mandatory. Like you're not going to get away with it. We're going to play in that tournament.
Right.
We want to go to Worlds. We want to go to Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia. Do we want to go to Vegas, Phoenix, Texas? We just put out in our group chat. We have our internal group chat. We put it out there, and we'll get 10 guys, 11 guys, 12 guys, 15 guys. The more guys we get, the more teams I'm gonna put in.
Gotcha.
So like New Mexico was this year was the 10-year anniversary of our brother that passed, so everybody wanted to be there. So we had enough players to field 3 teams.
Oh wow. So
So-
a lot of people showed out for
Yeah.
that one then.
A lot of-
Now you say guys, but you have ladies too.
Yes,
we
we started branching off with another service member, Krista Gary. She does women's teams. I think her team's Valkyries of Valor. They placed 4th in Military Worlds. Yeah,
Awesome.
and we started helping them out as well as to trying to get sponsorship and stuff, and trying to get set up a maybe a nonprofit later for women in sports and stuff like that. So it's little by little in the works, but because, and not just because she's a veteran, but because she has the same vision, right? Doing it on the women's side, it's going to be a very, very, very good for her.
Right. So
Yeah.
she's just starting, it sounds like?
Yeah.
So she's just starting.
Yep.
and it's like that purpose. She's about to learn that or see that purpose. I'm
Yep.
assuming, or receive that purpose, right?
Yep.
Now you also mix the teams up, don't you?
Yes, we also have a co-ed team which she runs. We pick up players from different other teams, and because we know them, and
Yeah, sure.
we're um, guys that there's guys on our in our family brotherhood that play upper ball, like major ball,
Oh,
A
wow.
ball, blah blah, and they'll come down and play co-ed with us just to have fun and compete and be around the camaraderie. She does that too as well, so we try to support that as well.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned Military Worlds, Band Aid, the Las Cruces tournaments, right? Are they all military affiliated, and are do you do just military affiliated?
No, I do. The Las Cruces one is a national invitational on the civilian side,
Okay.
but it's the director Bert. Great job on the whole enchilada. Um, he's a service member, so he served. So
He served, but he's that organization or that tournament is
He's the director.
he's the director
Yeah,
of the what's that?
of the tournament.
Okay,
Tournament director,
and
and
but
for the
it's
state of New Mexico.
Yes.
he's a service member, but it's still that tournament was civilian side. You said
Yes.
the National Invitational.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are not just doing military tournaments and games, right?
No.
You're trying to get in, I guess, whatever makes sense.
Brotherhood spans out to more than just specifically military, and that's how we reach out to other military who may not have organizations like us.
Like I've run into a soldier that was with me, and he retired. He got out, and he's in Utah, and there's no outlet for him as recreation to play softball in Utah. So then he'll come and travel with us, and he'll come and, hey, can I go play with y'all in this tournament? Can I play with this?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's those little things, and now we have our name in Utah. Now he's gonna be like, hey, you might want to reach out to this organization. They can help. Blah, blah. We're trying to help him do some stuff with his VA and all that good stuff. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. So we talked about how it's created. We talked about the name. It's now established. It's been 3 years. Now expanding. That is something that you guys are looking into? Am I right?
Correct.
All right. Let's talk about that.
So earlier this year, JR and I talked along with some other members who eventually became board members for this nonprofit about our goals and where we saw ourselves. So then we put in to actually be recognized by IRS as a nonprofit organization. And we do have our federal approval letter, and we are registered here currently within the state of Colorado with the goal of expanding to our Florida chapters as well as our Texas chapters. And who knows, that may even expand more to other states, the more individuals that we get. So when it comes to expansion, it all starts with, I would say, the base, right? We have to create the foundation, and that's where Colorado came in. We're the ones who took the leap off the deep end, and we went through the hardships of trying to figure out how to write up everything that needed to be done to get recognized. And now that we are, we're consistently working together to see who and how we can get things done better and how we can expand. So that way, once those other states want to do the same thing, we basically have an SOP, right? Which we know, standard operating procedures for those of you that don't. But that's basically how what we're creating at this moment for everyone else to eventually help this brotherhood become a nationwide thing. Who knows?
We have 2 chapters already are getting started. So we're gonna sit down with them next week and let them know, hey, what all do you need? One's in Florida, one's in Texas.
Now, when let's say somebody PCS is in, he doesn't know about OFOB, but starts driving up powers and sees, wow, there's a lot of people playing over here. How does an individual get involved? How do they become part of the team? How does that work?
My thing is just walk
Word of
up.
mouth? Yeah, just walk up.
Just walk up and initiate a conversation with a lot of us. I get it for the civilian individuals who don't understand. We have that intimidating factor when we're really focused in. But if you're military, don't be afraid to come up. If you see individuals wearing military uniform, just come have a conversation. You never know where that's going to lead. There is a specific process, coming from JR's approach on how to become a member of the team. We look for certain things, but if you don't know, you never will know if you don't ask.
You want to share on what those things are?
I'm very big into family. So if you're coming, there's people that come into an organization or try to come to our organization thinking, hey, I'm this amazing ball player and I deserve to start and blah blah blah, and I don't care what you're doing with that. So to me, right there and then, I'm like, thank you, but no thank you.
Okay.
Right. So, and it's just being a good person and being here to help. That's what we want. I don't care about anybody's, I really don't care about anybody's talent. I can take a kid that people don't want. I can take him and make him into a player if he wants to be. Right.
Yes.
Right. Just like I can have that veteran that's homeless and give him the resources to be better if he wants to be. Right.
Right.
I have a guy that got out of the military. He didn't want to do nothing in life. I don't want to say any names.
Yeah.
He just wanted to stay home and didn't want to go to school, didn't want to work, blah, blah, blah. I kept on pushing, and showed him how to do stuff, what he needed, what requirements. And I showed it to him. It was
Yeah.
up to him to become that person, right? Um, so I would take that player over this amazing player that does this and that.
All right.
Because again, it's our family, our brother. We just don't play softball. Softball is secondary to me. Will always be secondary to me. My focus is family, helping veterans, helping the families. Um, we have gatherings once every 2 weeks. It's somebody's birthday. It's somebody's anniversary. It's somebody's this. We do cookouts just to have cookouts and be together and make sure that all the families are there. Like we support every event that any of our brothers have. We got guys that have events in Texas. Hey, if you can come to Texas and support, come to Texas and support. As a matter of fact, my parents, mom and dad, um, their 50-year anniversary is in December. My dad has grown up around a lot of these guys, and he said, "I want these guys will be at my
I love it.
will be at my renewal. The
Yeah.
rest of the guys are invited, but these guys will make it." He's one of them,
Yeah.
and so that to me is the part that I want the veterans to realize that after the military, there still is a brother out here that cares, and there still is a brother out here that is there to assist and help with anything and everything that you need.
Do you guys have dues or something like that for the players? Is there anything like that?
No,
No, I don't.
the way that we set it up was so there wouldn't be dues in order to feel welcome. Like when people start paying dues, in my opinion, then all of a sudden you're attaching yourself to something that you may not want to. If there's no dues and you can just show up and be yourself without thinking about, okay, well, I owed this, why am I not playing? Why is this not happening? That just creates a lot of animosity and a lot of problems. So luckily, the opportunities we've had up to this point have allowed us to prevent that from happening, from tournament fees to, assisting in lodging, depending on where they're going, and whatever we can do to do community outreach programs when we're feeding the homeless, which I'm sure we'll get to here shortly. The money that comes in has a specific resource to where it's going, so taking that due away, I think, really helps families sell into what we're doing. It helps the players and the veterans as themselves sell into what we're doing, because we're not asking anything from them. Just be yourself.
So I played on teams that paid for dues, and it's an entitlement. Well, I paid $50, so I should start.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't, right? But also, we have so in our organization, we have every highest as a colonel all the way to an E3. I think we have an E3 in our.
Okay.
So that's the ranks that are in our organization. So most of the time, the retirees, the lower enlisted, the higher enlisted, the ones that that are well okay, we try before we started the organization. We're just we try to cover
Mm-hmm.
the funds for the lower enlisted, and now it's been amazing now that we are getting funds and are getting help and recognized by businesses just as yourself. Um, Now it's easier just like, hey, don't worry about the fee. Don't worry about this. All you have to worry about is your plane ticket there. All you have to worry about is your this and that. Um, so it makes it a lot easier not to have dues. The only due I ask for is be there for when we need you and we have events. Be there at the events if you can. It's not mandatory. Even like he was um, preluding to about the feeding the homeless. We had an event of feeding the homeless a couple months ago or a month ago, And I made it out on our page. You don't have to be there. If you can come and support, come and support. And we had probably a whole team out there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Showing enough that we had individuals messaging us on our nonprofit's Facebook page asking us when the next one was, because they were wanting to either donate or to donate clothing, because we know here in Colorado the cold weather's coming quick, and which we do have more plans for more community outreaches. But it's great to see that even the short amount of time that we've expanded for what we've done on social media, that we have individuals from Denver and even farther north that come down here to play at Skyview in Colorado Springs, asking when the next time they come down, can they bring stuff that helps us, help veterans or veteran homeless or just regular civilian homelessness, because it's not that the organization may be veteran founded and whatnot, but our outreach programs are to help as many people as we can, because some people in the organization have been there, been homeless, grew up homeless, and had issues like that. So we're not biased by any means.
Absolutely.
And we have also, I'm in the works with one of the coaches from Denver. Um, he works at a detention center for kids
Okay.
that are going through tough times. And knowing that my background, where I come from, and some of the backgrounds and some of the guys in our organization, we're try to make a day where we go and talk to them and say, hey, the military brought us here, did this for us, and blah blah. So it's not just like he said, not just veterans. Now I'm reaching, going back to my roots, right?
Right.
To tell these young men, hey, there is something other than gangbanging, drugs, and blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I know you mentioned about funds and all that. Now we're getting into like the sponsorship stuff, right? So, Santos Barber Factory. I think in the middle of me getting a haircut from him, he did this, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But in the middle, I think it was in the middle of a haircut. He, I knew he was playing some softball, like he talked about a little bit, but then he started getting into, hey, this is what our family, our brotherhood is about. Do you, maybe check us out? We're trying to, raise funds and stuff like that. And that's how the initial, connection started, where I came to see you guys play. And it's been great. I love the partnership, and I'm again grateful that I have the ability to support. But obviously, you guys are looking to get maybe a little bit more fundraising, a little bit more sponsorship. How can someone? What does the sponsorship do for you guys first? Like, what is it? What is the main goals of those things? I know you guys travel, so I know we're going to go into that. And I know we touched on it already. What does the sponsorship cover? What does it you need it for exactly? And then how can someone contact you for sponsorship or opportunities?
I'll leave that to my finance and legal team.
So as of right now, as I had stated earlier, right, it's creating the foundation first. So right now, yes, we are looking for sponsorship, and it all is based on what we have coming in for what we can do. They can reach out to us via social media and or anybody from the team. They already know who to contact in that point. A lot of nonprofits, they like to specify sponsorship based off of levels and how much you put into things, and that's not really where we see this nonprofit organization. We like we even said to you, whatever your heart tells you that is worthy of putting back into this organization, we will take whatever we can and try to make it work for however long we can make it work. Now, with that also comes we have to consistently fundraise, which we've done. We've gone to Perry's Pizza here in Colorado Springs. Shout out to Perry's, and done a fundraiser night during the Band-Aid. We also have other sponsors, Cutting Edge Realty, and a few others that have saw our vision and saw what we wanted to do and blessed us with that opportunity. So we take the bucket and then we kind of base that off of percentages, like, hey, this will go to softball, this will go to our veteran or our community outreaches, this will go to what we're trying to do to help build resumes because of the time and effort that it takes, and we try to offset those in every way that we can, so there's a piece of the pie, or everybody gets a piece of their pie.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
You want to add to that?
No, that's literally what we're looking for.
I will say, when that conversation first started, that's exactly what was told to me.
Yeah.
Because I've sponsored other things before, and it's like this is you sponsor this, you get this.
Right. Yeah.
You sponsor this much, you get something else or a little bit more.
Yeah.
And those things are fine. No knock on those. And that was kind of what I was. I mean, that's just what I'm used to. So that was what I expecting. Like I was asking, what's the number?
Right.
How much do you?
I think you asked like a handful of times.
I'm like, what's the number? What are we talking about? And it was like, whatever you deem as, whatever your heart's desire, whatever you feel like you can give.
And then and sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
And then I go from there. We like Queen's Mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Let's just go with you. You helped us. We put your logo on our
The banner.
banner and the jersey.
Yep.
And then after that, we promoted you with
Yes.
people that were coming in, people that were PCS in here, people that were trying to sell, trying to buy, blah blah blah. Hey, get with Sergio, get with Sergio, get with Sergio. Right?
Absolutely.
So that to us like help us in our mission, and then also help your business.
Absolutely.
Right?
And it did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We do have cutting edges the same way. Like we want to help out who wants to help us, and word of mouth is the best thing that's ever been. Like it.
The share button.
Yeah.
It's funny, and this in the military too. As big as the military seems, it's a small, tight knit community, and almost everybody knows somebody that knew you or knew me,
Right.
and whatnot. And the softball community is the same way. So when you have individuals, especially surrounded here in Colorado Springs, surrounded by military installations, and they play softball, who is the first people that they go to is other softball players asking questions, because they're the same way that military veterans can just find each other and just click. Softball players are the same way. So that's how we get those sponsorships names out there and get everybody going to where they need to go and point them in the direction that we believe is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another great example, Perry's. Another shout out, Perry's. But they helped us out with the Band-Aid, and now we try to make it like a weekly thing to try to go there, or every 2 weeks to go there, and hey, we're going to Paris to go get some pizza and some wings. Anybody want to come? And we're supporting that organization, that restaurant that supported us. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. That's just great. Now let's talk about let's do like we're gonna do goals now, right? We're gonna do short term and long term. All right, so let's go short term goals right now. And I say this, look, you guys have only been doing this for 3 years, but you've already accomplished a nice little bit already. I feel like this is pretty amazing in 3 years. That you guys have already established multiple teams. You've been to multiple states. You are raising money. You became an absolutely legit 501c3 nonprofit organization. All those are goals that you met along the way, right? Mm-hmm. So, short-term goals from this moment, what are those?
So personally, the goals that I see is short-term goals. I do it in years, right? Sure. So our year one goal was to be, as you said, 3 years. We formed the team has officially been formed. And our first year is when we got recognized as the 501c3. And that was back in February. We were approved. And that was what kicked everything off. So now that we're starting to hit our 1 year mark, I think we're kind of where we need to be. We're starting to get our name out there. We do have certain sponsors who have experience with us, and that's good because that gets word of mouth out there. My next goal is 3 years. I don't want to do the 2 years. I want to, because this gives us now a better trajectory, right? Sure. So where were we in year one compared to where do we want to be in year three? Me personally, I would love to see, more organizations, the Florida chapter, the Florida and the Texas chapters on the same boat once they get with their states and they're able to take in funding, and then we expand from there. I would love to see I would love to work more with businesses here in Colorado Springs and even in Denver, just in the state of Colorado that have the same heart for our mission. And I would hope to at least minimally double what we have because of how well we're doing and how word of mouth is getting out there. So my year three is just to see this expansion double over. And to hopefully see this just kind of set the precipice for maybe the next 5, 10, 15, who knows? Yep. The sky is literally the limit.
Before I go to you, Jay, I wanted to ask something about that, the 501c3. Is that something you got to renew every year?
Yeah, so on a yearly basis, we work with the CPA, which we do have, I call it my power team, right? So we do have our board of directors, we have our CPA, and we're working with attorneys, to make sure we're doing things the legal way and doing it correctly. Because once you are approved from the IRS, and not even just at the statewide, you have 3 years. 3 years as an organization for them to know whether or not you mean business. Because there are a lot of nonprofits out there that put a bad name in people's mouths. And I'm glad you brought that up so I can tell you, we don't want to be that nonprofit that people look back on and put a bad name on OFOB because of how well we tried to express to you what our brotherhood truly means to us. So every year we have to we have to do our taxes. We have to keep up on our finances and make sure that, we continue to get the green check mark.
So it's like a recertification?
Yeah, I guess if you want to put it in a very simplistic way, it's us every year recertifying that we're doing everything by law and the correct way, which is why we need CPAs and lawyers and stuff to make sure that we're not going outside of where we should be going.
Now, when you do the 501c3 that you guys have, I'm not smart on this stuff, so that's why I'm asking. Is it just state by state? Like that they can't extend to the Texas chapter?
There's multiple ways to do it, and what we learned from the CPA that we talked to, like you can set up a nonprofit that's a federal nonprofit, and you can set up like a public charity based per state and whatnot. Because there are veteran organizations that are federal, right? And then there's public charity veteran organizations that are kind of local. But with that, from our understanding, is because we have the IRS check mark and we are certified here in the state of Colorado, we can work with Colorado. However, if there are other states that want to help us, we need to be registered within those states, because at the end of every year, we have to claim the state taxes and everything from there. So that's what we're trying to work with. And trust me, this is a learning phase for everybody. You don't just jump into something already an expert, that's why you have your power team that's always there behind your back, letting you know, hey, this is how we're going to do things.
I love it. So long, do you want to talk about short term?
Short term for me is getting our name more out there and showing people that it's not just softball.
Right.
Showing them that we're here to take care of stuff other than that. The camaraderie, make sure that camaraderie gets bigger. And it's just awareness. I like to read. I like to see what programs are out there that people don't know they're out there. And then I share it with my guys internally, and we research it as good. And then we start sharing it with people that we know might benefit from it. Long term, honestly, I would love my organization, our organization. I would say mine, but it's our organization. I would love for it to be worldwide. Like even when people are stationed overseas and they're like 20, 15 years from now, I'm like, man, if I can just reach out to OFOB, maybe they can give me some blah, blah, some guidance, blah, blah. We don't know how that's going to be in 5, 10, 15 years, right? But like me and you spoke before, like what's next, right? We don't stay complacent. Like we can't be like, oh, we're good 5 years now. That's all we're doing. No, what else can we do? What else can we support? Like, and I think I based off everything about what I want to do through the experience with the Wounded Warrior Project.
Okay.
They like do so much for veterans, and a lot of veterans don't know that there is a Wounded Warrior Project. Right. They don't know what the qualification is to get in there. I've had many guys on our team that, hey, did you serve in combat? Yeah. You have this organization that can help you. No, I didn't know that. You know that they can help you with benefits. No, I didn't. Come on, listen. I literally took them to the office, have them registered, blah blah blah. Now they're in. Now they're getting the help. Service members been out for 5 years. So for 5 years, you've been missing out on a lot of these benefits. You know what I'm saying? So long term, that's where I see the organization. And again, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your trials and tribulations. But I think everybody is on the same page.
Right.
Because I always tell everybody, we don't care about softball. We love it. We want to compete. But this is our ultimate goal.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So it's something that you brought up, right? Like same thing here, right? You're not the only nonprofit that I've been working with or been in connection with that actually connects me to veterans or active duty. But it's almost consistent. It's almost daily too. It's like you'll run into an active duty person or a veteran that either is out or about to get out, and there seems to be a lack of information or education as they're getting out, right? I'll speak for myself. I was getting out kind of COVID. It was end of 2020, beginning of 21, when I was clearing and all that. And I think I did TAP during 2020. And nothing against the military and all that, but I feel like there just needs to be a better process?
I was the same way, and we have individuals. We just had a senior non-commissioned officer get out. He was retired as well, and it was one of the things he said. It feels like the SFL taps. It was used to be SFL or something for life.
It's
Soldier for life.
Soldier for life.
Like it seems like there's a lack of communication on how to set them up for success when they get out.
Right. It was called something else before that, but it escapes me now.
Completely agree with you. It's like there's a missing. Like they try, but within just a short amount of window to try. No, you can send me through basic training for 9 weeks and set me up for success in the military. But you know how fast SFL tap and everything else goes. Like to transition me back to a civilian and hope for the best. That's why I really like what we're doing. Yep. It's kind of like an expanded version of that you stick with us for a lot longer.
So yeah, exactly. So I run into this, like I said, it feels like almost daily where I talk to someone either, through a nonprofit or just someone that's thinking about buying a house and they somehow found me and they want to use me. And I start having these conversations and they are all the same. I don't think I've had one person say, oh yeah, I was set up perfectly from transition assistance. So, I mean, again, not to dog them. We understand, mission first and all that good stuff. But I'll say it from my situation. For someone I'll say this. I was getting into mortgages while I was still active duty. I had the fortunate opportunity to do so. I already had a plan as I was getting out, a good year ahead in time, like a good year plus ahead of retirement. I kind of knew what I was doing and I was leading that way. And then it was kind of one of those things, I'm doing this. So I had about maybe a couple months that I wasn't sure. And then I was like, I'm going for it. This was going to happen. It's going to work out or it's not. And it worked out for me. Thank God. Now I'm going through transition assistance as I'm in the middle of this. And I'm someone, like I said, that had a plan. Fortunately, I had a plan, and I'm telling you that it was inadequate education for me as I was getting out. It really was. And then when I started, when I really got deep into mortgages, it was end of 2020, early 2021. And at that time, the housing markets were very busy. It was crazy, right? And I learned quickly, like super quick, how uneducated we are in the military about how the VA loan works, what the benefits are, what you can do with it, and also not just the VA loan. I'm talking about VA benefits in general, how to make sure your disability is set up properly. What a VSO is. I've had that many times. I'm like, hey, have you talked to a VSO? What is that? A veteran service officer, right? Every county has an office that's specializes in that area. They have a veteran service office. You just got to find the one that's in your area. So, I mean, I'm in other, connected with other nonprofits that these questions come up. And, one of the first replies to that veteran is like, where are you located? Louisville, Kentucky. And it's a quick Google search, Louisville, Kentucky, veteran service office nearest, to this zip code or whatever. And then I'll just send them the link. I'm like, hey, this is where you need to go. This is where you should start. That may not be where you end up, but this is where you should start, right? The DAVs, the Wounded Warrior Projects, those guys, right? That is like a daily thing for me. And like I said, for me, when I was getting out, I feel like it was inadequate. And then it's a consistent thing that is like veterans or soldiers that are getting out, service members that are getting out, they're not prepared properly.
And it can be a little intimidating too.
That too, and it's scary. Yeah. They don't want to ask questions. We don't want to ask questions. We're not sure. We'll think we can figure it out too. Pride is another one, right? Pride is a big one. So those veterans that I encounter that are like, in that boat, I talk to them about these things. Like I understand pride. I understand you didn't know. It's all good. Let's figure it out now. Let's come up with a plan right now, right? So the Lord brought you to me. Yeah. We're going to figure it out together, okay? So that is definitely something that, like when you guys talk about that stuff, I run into that almost daily.
And the hardest ones to try to convince is the disgruntled ones.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, the ones. Yes, I've run into those too that are really like, had a bad experiences or whatever, went through some things. I understand all that, but yeah, those are tough to get to, like, hey, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
To see the turn or to see what's around the corner.
Right.
It's hard to get them there. Yes, that is
I
something.
think that's where this comes in handy so well, is because you may be disgruntled, but you're dealing with a lot of other disgruntled vets too.
Yeah.
So we can put up with each other's problems and still talk to each other and still kind of, open your mind and open your eyes a little bit to say, try again.
Awesome. All right. You guys want anything you want to cover? Last words or anything specific that maybe I have missed?
Nothing. Just to add on to the long term as well. We're also working with we also work with other non veteran owned businesses to get the word out. Squared Away Sports Apparel. They help us out a lot with our gear. Um, very makes it very cost effective for our players to
That's
to wear.
amazing. Good.
And also they have we have sponsorships where they help us out with that. Also another one, Noonan Sports. They help out with some gear as well, some sponsorship money. Great organization. We're helping him out. He's actually one of our guys. We're helping him out doing his nonprofit paperwork for Noonan disease.
It's Noonan syndrome. He's wanting to do the same thing that we're doing, but to spread awareness for Noonan syndrome.
Yes.
So we're helping him out. So Noonan Sports, amazing, amazing organization. What he wants to do, but what I want to add is, like, we want to work with all those. A lot of nonprofit organizations think, for what I've seen, is it's about us, and we don't care to support anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to bring in Noonan Sports and work together so we can help us as well, because there can be a veteran family that he's helping with whatever his cause is.
Yes.
But that veteran doesn't know anything about benefits. So now we come behind and help out.
Right. Noonan Sports is a nonprofit, 501c3.
We're currently working on them getting their 501c3.
So that's
too.
you guys that you went through the ropes.
Yep.
You're showing them.
He saw everything, and him and I just recently talked, and I'm gonna go work with him hand in hand to hopefully get him stood up, and maybe by next year, you never know, you're gonna have
Podcast with him.
OFOB,
Yeah.
Noonan Sports podcasting with Queens Capital Mortgage.
That would be great. I would love
But
that.
he's one of our He's one of our guys that plays with us and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. That's awesome. Anything else you want to add?
Just real quick to shout out again, thank you for everything you've done for this organization. And
that.
I know you saw the vision early, and hopefully you'll continue to see the vision build as we expand in the future, as we've talked about. But I also want to shout out, as JR had mentioned a minute ago, to every sponsor that's given us an opportunity, or whether you just want to talk to us or you just want to help us out. Communication. It just starts with a simple conversation.
Yeah.
And if it's for you, that is wonderful. And if it's not, that's also wonderful too. It may not be the right time, but we'll never shun anybody away from having a conversation with us. And if they want to reach out to us, they can reach out to us on our Facebook page, Our Family Our Brotherhood, or obviously get with you, and you know how to point them in the right direction.
Absolutely. Well, I would like to thank my guests, JR and Matlock, for joining me on this podcast. Really appreciate their vision. Really appreciate what they're doing in the community. I look forward to, definitely collaborating with them with some more stuff in the future. If you ever have any questions about a mortgage or looking to buy a home, Queens Capital Mortgage is happy to talk to you and guide you in the right direction when it comes to that. That is something that we also take very seriously. We want to make sure that you are set up properly for your home purchase. So if you have any questions to us, you can visit us at the Queens Capital Instagram, Facebook, our YouTube. You can DM us directly through those channels, and we'll definitely get back with you. Thank you so much for spending our time, and you guys have a good one.